Hey guys, how we doing? Please, at ease. At ease. Good Lord, sit down and eat. Sit down and eat. Don't let the Vice President stop you guys from getting your chow here. How we doing? It's cold as shit here. Nobody told me. Well, thank you all for everything you do, and thanks for having us. So please sit down, guys. Please. I want you to eat your food. Usha and I are thrilled to be here. It's a really beautiful flight, actually. You fly over some pretty cool spots. I've never been to Greenland. Apparently, I'm the first vice president to ever visit Greenland, so that's a pretty cool thing. But we're looking forward to hanging out and getting to know you guys and understanding what you do. So I think what do we have? So we're gonna talk to the command and some of the guardians about what exactly the base does and all the important ways it contributes to national security. We're going to get a briefing, of course, about what you guys do every day, and then we're going to talk just about, as you've heard, we have some interest in Greenland from the Trump administration. So we're going to talk a little bit about that with our friends in the media. But I just want to say thank you all. Thanks for having us, and thanks for being here. Thanks for doing what you do.
This is my video update on this Saturday afternoon, March the 29th, coming to you from Limassol, Cyprus. Let's talk about some news. And let's start things off with the minerals deal that Trump, the United States, presented to Ukraine, the revised minerals deal that they presented to Ukraine. And I talked about this revised minerals deal in my video update yesterday. It is a tough deal for Ukraine. Basically, the Trump White House, as I discussed yesterday, they are telling Ukraine to give up all of their resources, their minerals, their oil, their gas, their ports, just about everything goes to the United States in perpetuity, and whatever revenue is generated from these assets going forward will be used to pay back the $350 billion that the United States allegedly, according to Trump, gave to Ukraine, or according to Trump, loaned to Ukraine, because that is how the Trump administration is framing this new minerals deal. A Ukrainian parliament member said yesterday that this minerals deal is a horror. That is the exact word that they used. It is a horror for Ukraine, and it's impossible for Ukraine to sign such a deal. Well, we now have a statement from none other than the Green Goblin, Elensky. Zelensky has sounded off on this revised minerals deal by saying that he will not sign such an agreement. That is what Zelensky said. He will not agree to this deal. He will not sign it. He actually said that he does not recognize that the money given to Ukraine was in the form of a loan. He doesn't see it as debt. According to Zelensky and the statement that he made yesterday, this money was given to Ukraine by the Biden administration. And so there is nothing to pay back. He also thanked the American people as he was saying all of this. He said that he thanks the American people for their support, but we are not going to be paying back any money because we don't view the money given to Ukraine as any type of a loan or a debt. Incredible stuff, huh? Absolutely incredible development. The Biden administration, they give all this money to Ukraine. Let's just say they gave it. They gave all this money to Ukraine. They engaged in a proxy war with Russia, Ukraine being the proxy. And the Biden administration effectively destroyed Ukraine. And now we have a new administration, the Trump administration, which is now trying to negotiate a settlement with Russia, while at the same time they are presenting a deal to the country that the US destroyed. They're presenting a minerals deal which will give away everything that the country has to the United States. Amazing, an amazing development. So Elensky, he also said that he does not expect any more money from the United States, at least no more free money from the United States. If there's going to be any money given to the United States, it is going to be in the form of some sort of a loan going forward. So he said the days of free money that was received from the Biden administration, he said those days are over. And Elensky basically hinted at the strategy that Ukraine will now be going 100% with the Europeans, 100% in with the Europeans, because for the Zelensky regime, the Europeans are not making such demands as the Trump administration is placing on Ukraine. So it's 100% in with the Europeans. Money that is loaned. The Europeans do loan Ukraine the money. This is a fact. But in those loans, they also provide grants. But the Europeans so far have not tried to make harsh demands of Ukraine, so that Ukraine gives up all of their country's assets and natural resources to pay back those loans. The Europeans have not made those demands yet. Yet. That's right. That's the key word. So Zelensky is going 100% in with Europe. Now Medvedev, he sounded off on this minerals deal development. He posted on social media praising the revised Trump deal. And this is what Medvedev said. The Americans rolled out an excellent draft commodity deal to the Kiev freak. If the Kiev regime approves it, then the drug guy and co will face a fate such as Mussolini. I'll keep it PG for YouTube. And if Elensky rejects it, the United States will reset the Bandera regime. Checkmate. A harsh assessment, but an accurate assessment from Medvedev. So it didn't end there. Elensky's statement then got weirder, if that's possible. He started to talk about how he has some deals in the works with partners. I believe he's talking about the UK and France, and Ukraine has some deals in the works with these partners, these European partners, for intelligence sharing, for missile production, he said, for drone production, and for air defense systems. So he's got this deal cooking up with European partners so that they're going to produce missiles, drones, air defense, and they're also going to share intelligence. The Europeans, the UK and France, they can barely produce missiles and artillery and drones for their own countries, but now they're going to enter into an agreement with Ukraine so that they can begin massive military production of all of these things with Ukraine and inside of Ukraine, and they're going to invest in Ukraine, according to Zelensky. I think that's the key word in all of this. They're going to invest in Ukraine. You know You know what happens when you invest in Ukraine, right? Yeah, you invest in Ukraine. That's what these European partners are going to be doing. Check out all the sailboats. It's a windy day here in Limassol. Great day for sailing. Man, if the tide comes in, I'm kind of screwed, huh? it's rising. The tide is a rising. Yeah, I'll make it out of here. Then Elensky said, and this is the weird part, he said that he will not negotiate with the Putin. I will not negotiate with the Putin. But he said that he is ready to negotiate with Russian business leaders and with Russian government officials, leaders in various Russian regions. That is what he went on to say. I think there are businesses in Russia, and they have many different regions, including serious areas of business. I think we would talk to them if they have a vision of how to end the war. I don't even know what he means by this statement. I will negotiate with Russian business leaders and leaders of various regions and see if they have any ideas how to end the war. I'm not even going to try and guess what Elensky was getting at with that statement. So that's what Elensky said yesterday. There still is talk about the UK and France putting together a no-fly zone in Ukraine and sending a couple of thousand soldiers into Ukraine, into certain areas as a deterrent force, a reassurance force. If there is a ceasefire agreement between the United States and Russia, then France and the UK are going to pull the trigger on this initiative. And Macron is even hinting that if there is no agreement between the United States and Russia, that France reserves the rights to still send in soldiers to Ukraine and to try and create some sort of a no-fly zone in Ukraine. That's still on the table, and we have a meeting on April 11th, which is going to take place between the German Collective West Contact Group, of which the United States is no longer chairing. The UK is now chairing that contact group. But that's going to take place on April 11th. That's going to be the next meeting where all of this planning for UK-French troops continues. We also have news that the UK and France are going to send some military officials to Kiev so that they can understand what Ukraine's needs are when discussing some sort of a no-fly zone or some sort of military presence in Ukraine. Elensky said that Ukraine is not looking for peacekeepers. He said that Ukraine is looking for soldiers, for fighters. That's what Elensky said. He's not interested in a reassurance force or a peacekeeping force. He wants a European military force in Ukraine. So my question to everybody that is watching this video is how many Oreshnik missiles will Russia mass produce by the end of the year? And how many Oreshnik missiles will Russia mass produce in 5 years, by 2030? Because we are talking about, or at least Macron and Stammer are running their mouths about a conflict with Russia. Europe is talking about a conflict with Russia, even without the United States. So how many Oreshniks will Russia produce by the end of the year, and how many Oreshnik missiles will they produce in 2030? Because Oreshnik missiles are being mass produced. And then my second question is, how many hypersonic missiles will the EU, will European Union member states produce by 2030? Zero? Zero. How many Oreshniks will Russia produce? Let me know in the comments down below. I imagine hundreds, maybe thousands by 2030. And you're telling me that the Europeans are going to start up a fight with Russia. Perhaps. Perhaps they will, but it's going to be a very, very quick victory for the Russian military. Very, very quick victory for the Russian military, that's for sure. But you know, the Europeans, they're not so interested in a ceasefire in Ukraine. I was thinking about this this morning as I was driving down to Limassol. The Europeans are just not interested in any type of ceasefire. And if you're the EU, if you're part of the political elite in the European Union, it serves you better to have Ukraine broken by Russia than to have Ukraine capitulate to Russia, or to have some sort of a ceasefire agreement, which would effectively be a Ukraine capitulation. Because if you have a ceasefire or a Ukraine capitulation, then the conflict is over. And as an EU elite, you can't push EU centralization. You can't push the EU defense slush fund. If you're the UK, if you're Stammer, you can't push UK integration into the European Union, reversing Brexit. You can't push that. So it doesn't serve them to have any type of ceasefire or even a Ukraine capitulation. For the Europeans, I think the way they're looking at this is let Ukraine break. It's better for the conflict to continue. It's better for us to have a broken Ukraine, a Ukraine that Russia has defeated militarily, so that then we can push onto our citizens the defense slush fund, the reversing of Brexit, the centralization of more power to the Brussels center, because you can use the Russian boogeyman. It serves them better to have a broken Ukraine than a ceasefire or a capitulation from Ukraine. That's why the Europeans are going to do their very best to keep this conflict going, even if Russia wins in 6 months or 1 year's time, and Ukraine is broken up or broken apart or broken down. For the Europeans, it's a better outcome. It's an easier sell to their people for the slush funds, the defense spending fund, all of these things. And then in 5 years, when all of the debt spending and all of the borrowing has run its course, the globalist European political elite can do a rug pull and some sort of a bank bail-in, and you get a huge, massive transfer of wealth to the globalist center. Anyway, I was just thinking about that this morning on my drive down here to Limassol. So let's talk about one of the globalist elite, and that is Italy's Giorgia Meloni. Giorgia Meloni, she gave an interview to the Financial Times, and Meloni, she said that she agrees with J.D. Vance about Europe. She says that Europe is a bit lost, and she is siding with the United States. She actually said that it's in Italy's best interest. What is this? She said it's in Italy's best interest to align with the United States rather than to fully align with the EU? I have no idea. All right. Anyway, that's what Meloni said. She is agreeing with Vance. She's hoping that this statement catches the eye of Elon Musk. I hope Elon sees this statement. I hope Elon sees that I am siding with the US over the European Union. Anyway, that's what Meloni said. I wonder if I have any quotes from Georgia Meloni. Yes, I do. Meloni said that in contrast to Macron and Stammer, she is not keen to position herself as a protagonist on the global stage. While she did not directly contest claims that Russia poses a threat warranting Europe-wide military expansion, she emphasized that Rome recognizes threats can come from 360 degrees. She was referring to illegal migration across the Mediterranean, which is a pressing issue in Italy. I don't think that's what she was referring to. I think when Meloni said that threats can come from 360 degrees, she's talking about Annalena 360. Annalena 360 poses a threat to Italy. She poses a threat to Apple and to iPhone. I'll get into that in my clown world. But yeah, that's the statement from Meloni. Meloni, by the way, a couple of weeks ago, her plan for Project Ukraine was to provide Ukraine with Article 5 NATO protection while not being in NATO. That was actually one of my clown worlds about a week or two ago. That was what Meloni's solution was for Project Ukraine. NATO protection, but they're not a part of NATO. Oh, man. Anyway, that's Meloni. By the way, in Russia, we are getting word that a lot of businesses, Collective West businesses, are preparing to re-enter Russia. Big businesses that exited with the sanctions and the beginning of the special military operation. We're talking about Visa, MasterCard, IKEA. I've read reports, can't confirm this, but I have read reports which claim even big tech companies like Microsoft and Apple are preparing to return to Russia, and one company is absolutely preparing its return to Russia. Actually, it's even opened up, or it's reopened one of its facilities, one of its warehouses, and we're talking about LG. That's right, LG is ready to re-enter the Russian market. LG Electronics is reportedly among the first and recently partially resumed operations at its home appliance plant in Moscow, which produced, oh, get this, washing machines and refrigerators. Oh man, LG opening up a facility with, hey buddy, opening up a facility with washing machines and, take care, my friend, with washing machines and refrigerators. Washing machines, tatters, I tell you. All right, so Meloni, we talked about Meloni and how she supports J.D. Vance. Meloni was talking about J.D. Vance's speech at Munich when she said that Europe is a bit lost. That's what she was referring to, by the way, but I think you guys already figured that out when I said that Meloni supports what J.D. Vance says about Europe. Anyway, let's talk about J.D. Vance because he is in Greenland. J.D. Vance is in Greenland, and Vance, he was delivering a message from U.S. President Trump. His message was that the U.S. supports a referendum in Greenland, but the U.S. believes that it is in Greenland's best interest to be part of the United States. Rivnaya taverna. Rivnaya taverna. Хорошо. Морепродукти. Вкусно морепродукти in Cyprus. So what was I saying? I was saying Vance in Greenland. Yeah, Vance said it would be better off for Greenland to have the referendum, but when you vote to be part of the United States of America. The Guardian actually ran some fake news. They ran an article, a fake news article. I forgot the title of it, but what the Guardian was saying was that that Putin, in his speech in the Arctic the other day, he was supportive of Trump annexing Greenland, implying that Trump and Putin, what they're all about is taking territory and annexing territory. Dictator strongmen, that's what the Guardian wanted to imply, which is false, because I reported on this story yesterday, and that's not what Putin said. That's not what Putin said at all about Greenland. Actually, he was warning. He was warning Russia, he was warning Russian leaders, he was warning people in Greenland. You could even say he was warning Denmark by saying, take Trump seriously. Don't laugh this off. Trump is serious about Greenland, and there's historical evidence that he's serious about Greenland. So more fake news from The Guardian. Big surprise. Vance also said that China and Russia are reason for Greenland to... It works. It actually works. Amazing. Amazing. That Russia and Chinese incursions in the Arctic, that's reason enough for Greenland to join the United States, and that's why the United States needs Greenland. I don't know what he was talking about when he said that, but you know, Russia's great for the collective West. It can be used in all different scenarios for all different types of regime changes or color revolutions or centralization of power, annexations, whatever. You want to scare people, you want to scare your citizens. Doesn't matter if you're the United States, doesn't matter if you're the UK, doesn't matter if you're talking about Greenland, doesn't matter if you're talking about Ukraine, doesn't matter. Just throw Russia out there. So Vance threw Russia out there and said that China and Russia, they're moving in on Greenland, so that's why the United States needs Greenland, and that's why Greenland needs the United States. Let me see if I have a quote from Vice President Vance. I almost fell. He said, our message to Denmark is very simple. You have not done a good job by the people of Greenland. All right, so that's what he said about Denmark. You have not done a good job by the people of Greenland. So let's do one more story and we'll get into our clown world. 2 more stories. How am I doing on time? Yeah, I'm doing all right on time. Let's do 2 more stories and we'll get to the clown world. Iran, the foreign ministry of Iran, they issued a statement saying that they have sent their reply letter to Trump's letter that he sent to Iran about a week or 2 ago, where Trump was basically saying that he wants some sort of negotiation and guarantee that Iran's not going to get nuclear weapons, or else we could be seeing conflict. That was basically what Trump said in his letter. And so Iran replied, and the foreign ministry, what they said is that Iran is a sovereign country, and of course Iran's going to do what it's in its best interest to do. But Iran did say that they can engage in indirect talks with the United States. They have no problem in indirect negotiations with the United States. They said that they cannot engage in direct negotiations with the United States because the United States currently has this maximum pressure campaign on Iran, and obviously you can't negotiate directly with a country that has this type of maximum pressure campaign directed at you. But Iran did say in this letter that that they are open to indirect negotiations with the United States to resolve whatever dispute is going on, which is an interesting statement from the foreign ministry. Indirect negotiations would mean some sort of a mediator, and that mediator would most likely be Russia. So anyway, that's the letter from Iran to Trump. One more story: USAID has been officially dismantled. An appeals court, they ruled that the Trump administration has the right to shut down USAID. Absolutely has the right to shut down USAID, and so that is what the Trump administration is doing. And so it is now official. USAID is shut down, and it's going to be folded into the U.S. State Department. And that's a good thing, in my opinion. I think that's a much better, I don't want to say it's a good thing, let's say it's a better scenario than having this entity called USAID with a $40 billion budget, which operates outside of any type of oversight and operates very much in the shadows. It's preferable to have this new reconstituted USAID, which will be much smaller. It's better to have it in the U.S. State Department. It doesn't mean that regime changes are going to stop. It doesn't mean that color revolutions are going to stop. I'm not saying that. Color revolutions are going to continue. Regime change operations are going to continue. That stuff's not going to go away. But at least having it be part of the State Department means that the United States cannot hide from these types of color revolutions and regime change operations. Next time there's a Maidan or something like that going on, or something going on in Georgia or whatever, the United States is not gonna be able to say we have nothing to do with this, right? We don't know what's going on. We have nothing to do with this. No, they're not going to be able to do that. Everyone's going to know that this is being funded and sponsored by the U.S. State Department, which means that this regime change is being funded and sponsored by the United States. So that's the situation with USAID. Do the regime change operations go away? No. Do the color revolutions go away? No. But at least now you don't have this shadow USAID, very, very well-funded organization conducting these regime change operations, and everyone can look at the U.S. State Department when the next color revolution goes down. So that's an update on USAID. Let's do a clown world, and we can wrap up this video update. And in today's clown world, we go back to Annalena 360, Annalena Baerbock, who has a brilliant idea for tariff retaliation against the United States. A brilliant idea. Brilliant idea from Annalena 720i. Absolutely brilliant. You want to know what her idea is? I'm going to tell you what Annalena's idea is: to retaliate against the United States for tariffs. Her idea is to place a 10-cent tax on iPhone updates. That's right. Anytime someone in the EU updates their iPhone, 10-cent tax. Oh my God. She's the foreign minister of Germany, everybody. Annalena, the foreign minister of Germany. Oh boy. Yeah, that's her idea. A 10-cent tax on iPhone updates. Apple's going to pay the 10-cent tax. I don't know, maybe Apple's going to pass on that 10-cent tax to iPhone users. I don't know. Who cares? It doesn't matter. It's a brilliant idea from Annalena. An absolutely brilliant idea. Let's see what Annalena has to say. Speaking at the Berlin European Conference on Thursday, Baerbock cited the EU's Digital Services Act, adopted in 2022, which includes mechanisms for responding to external trade pressure. If others propose a 25% tariff, then we can put our entire toolbox on the table, Baerbock said. We've got tools. She suggested one option could be a levy on digital services. How often do we update our iPhone? Add 10 cents to it. That would bring a lot of money for Europe, though others might not like it so much. It's going to be a lot of money, everybody. You're going to shut down Apple if you do that, right? You're going to shut down Apple. Apple can't pay for a 10-cent tariff on updates for everybody in the EU, right? Right? Nope. Wrong. Wrong. According to German daily NOZ, citing data from Statista on Thursday, there are approximately 165 million iPhone users in the EU, with iPhones typically receiving 6 to 10 software updates per year. A 10-cent levy per update could generate around 165 million euros, or $178 million annually. Apple reported a global net profit of $36.3 billion in the first fiscal quarter of 2025, according to company filings. 36 billion in the first fiscal quarter of 2025. And Annalena is talking about generating 165 million euros for the EU with this 10-cent tariff. Oh, Annalena, we're going to miss you when you exit the scene. We are going to miss you. Hopefully you get that UN position. Let's hope that she does become the president of the UN General Assembly. Anyway, that's the video, everybody. TheDuran.locals.com. We are on, let me zoom in here, Rumble, ODYSEE, BitChute, Telegram, Rockfin, and X. Go to the Duran shop, pick up some merch. Like the shirt that I'm wearing in this video update, which is a Duran football t-shirt with the flag of Sweden.
I want to say I watch your channel. I love your material.
Oh, thank you. Your voice is gonna be on this video.
I'm happy to support your work.
Where are you from?
I'm from England originally, but I live in Cyprus. So
Awesome, man. You enjoy it here?
I love it.
It's fantastic, isn't it? I'm showing everybody the sailboats right now as I'm closing out the video. It's beautiful, Limassol.
It is. I prefer Nicosia. The tavernas are tastier in Nicosia.
You think so?
I was there 10 years. So.
Okay. All right. I think here's better. All right, man. Take care. Have a great day. All right, everybody. Take care. Sweden, that's the shirt that I am wearing. Today, you will find it on the Duran shop. 15% off. Use the code SPRING15. Take care.